I'm Suzanne Goldenberg from The Guardian, reporting from the Pacific coast of Southern California. When the 2011 tsunami and nuclear disaster hit Japan, the U.S. launched a major humanitarian operation. It involved vessels, sailors, and Marines from here in California, as well as those based in Japan. Now, some of those sailors and Marines say they were exposed to dangerous levels of radiation, and they are suing Japan's electricity company Tepco for $1 billion in a California court. 77,000 sailors and Marines joined the relief effort. About 100 are suing Tepco. Some of those sailors have illnesses that cannot be explained, but all of them say their biggest fear is that they just don't know what the future holds.
I got it for my birthday.
I got one of those too in my room.
Oh, I got the cops.
Stop.
My son is Darius Jackson. He's 15 years old.
James Jackson was based at an installation in Japan. He joined the suit because of his son.
During the tsunami, my son and I, we were over there in the region. At the time, we stayed approximately about 3 weeks afterwards to continue to help with the relief efforts and things like that. What was put out was we didn't have anything to worry about.
It just started hurting. I just started screaming and I couldn't move because my body was in so much pain.
It was bad, and we couldn't figure out what was going on with him, but his body was changing.
On New Year's Day, they just admitted me into the hospital, and a few days, on January 7th, the Dr. Peeney came in and said, I have leukemia.
Man, oh man.
First, I didn't know what it was, but I knew what cancer was.
We were approximately 11 days from him losing his life. No parent should have to bury their child.
My name is David Brenner, and I'm director of the Center for Radiological Research here at Columbia University in New York City. We focus on really the effects of low levels of radiation. Well, I think we have a pretty reasonable idea of what the radiation exposures were to individuals. I don't think anybody got as much exposure as would be associated with a CT scan, for example. We're not talking about a chance of 1 in 10 of getting cancer or something like that. We're talking about chances of 1 in 10,000, 1 in 100,000, pretty small risks. One can never establish the sort of causation which in some legal situations you need, but of course you can never rule it out.
Oh, my name is Mike Seaborn. I'm 37 years old, and at the time of the Fukushima disaster, I was actually stationed about 125 miles south of Fukushima. My job was to lead a team of 18 different sailors and measuring the contamination levels of beta-gamma radiation on the aircraft and equipment and personnel. There was a time about a month into the operation that I started getting acute sickness. And my son did too. He would go through vomiting fits, or he would just throw up 30 or 40 times in a row. I've been having issues that started about 4 months after my exposure to radiation. I have acute attenuation in my right arm and right leg. When they measure my right arm, it's actually 11 centimeters smaller than my left. Unfortunately, it's been 3 years and they just can't figure out what's wrong, and in the meantime, my body just continues to kind of shrivel up.
Mike is the first to admit that his symptoms may have nothing to do with radiation. He says his biggest fear is what could happen 10, 15, or even 20 years from now to him and his son because of what happened during Fukushima.
Do I come down with radiation sickness, or do I come down with cancer, or does my son come down with cancer? If the worst does happen, am I going to be taken care of?
There's one thing that is clear, and that's that this is going to be a very long road ahead.
So I don't blame the Navy at all. This is, in my view, 100% Tepco's problem.
This large company, this large enterprise, them coming forward and settling would begin the healing process.
You know, this is my life now, and hopefully in the future it gets better.
My dad says I'm the bravest person that he ever met. And so I just think I'm brave enough to get through all of that.